What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Bruce Springsteen, and this one is actually serving two purposes, which is to say it's just about time for our roughly every 10-day Bruce Springsteen reaction. Thank you, as always, to Michaela, who has provided so much music, in particular, in recent times, a wealth of Bruce Springsteen that we are only just touching the very tip of the iceberg at this point. But this is also going to be a tune included in a timely playlist I'm doing right now called We Save Us, related to social and political engagement and activity, especially in regard to the No King's Day protest coming up in not this weekend but the weekend after, and pushing back against the revanchist and dehumanizing forces that are unfortunately a large part of governments and dominant political movements in a lot of places, including here in the US. And this feels especially relevant because I've read in a recent article or two about Bruce, becoming a little more overt in terms of his opinions on what's happening politically and particular figures who shall remain unnamed. But yes, I feel like this is not only a perfect symmetry or synthesis of a couple different playlists, but I am very excited to continue to go through Bruce's catalog, and it's great that his music and one of his tunes will be part of this playlist. So yes, the tune is Long Walk Home. I'm trying to remember in the moment if Michaela indicated the year on this one. I don't see it in the email where she described the two tunes that she was going to add to this playlist. Oh, it's here, though, in the file, 2007. Okay, so this is from 2007, almost 20 years ago, and yeah, I mean, the phrase is simple enough, straightforward. A long walk home suggests a great distance must be traveled. There's, I think, at least an implication that that might be burdensome, that might be fatiguing, or require a lot of stamina, persistence. So I feel like any one of those concepts could, of course, extrapolate to larger levels and be used figuratively or conceptually. Of course, I've come to learn in a short time that his narratives often have a very visual and everyday life type of context, though again, I think with themes that perhaps can be extrapolated larger. Once again, I will do my best to follow the lines. I may mishear a line or two. Bear with me. There was someone who was suggesting that, I could look at the lyrics afterward. I don't do that in most reactions because, again, historically, I've kind of let songs wash over me with multiple listens, and I must insist, I've been re-listening to the Bruce tracks I've already reacted to a great deal, including in headphones, so please know that I do that. If there's really, it continues to be the case where I keep mishearing key lines, I may do that, but again, my normal system is to just engage with the tune, catch what I can, re-listen, and of course, in this context, I hear almost always immediately, and Michaela has been posting the lyrics for these songs, so, I see very directly, and I can, by the end of the day, already have a better sense for what I heard, what I missed, and so on. In any case, let's give it a listen. This is Bruce Springsteen, Long Walk Home from 2007, not only part of our Bruce Deep Dive playlist, but also the We Save Us playlist, initially constructed by Kim, but added to by Michaela and also Yvonne.
Trying to figure out what went wrong. You just slipped something into my palm there and you were gone. I could smell the same deep green of summer. Above me the same night sky was glowing. In the distance I could see the town where I was born. It's gonna be a long walk home. Yeah, pretty darling, don't wait up for me. Gonna be a long walk home. A long walk home.
still absolutely shredding the guitar. It's a shame to fade there. And I do believe we had a quick section with a very florid saxophone line. It was sort of buried in a lot of the other Sonics, but I'm pretty sure I heard that, and people who know this channel will know I'm aware. I'm quite fond of the saxophone, and I think it can often take an already good tune to a higher level, and I feel like the quick appearance of it here really did add some flavor to the tune. And yes, definitely some rockin' guitar. When it first sort of exploded with more energy, I was struck by that. I was taken aback because it felt more kind of like a, storytelling ballad type of tune, but suddenly it got a lot of energy and a lot of rock power to it. So I really love that. And again, Bruce's voice, fitting right in, sort of very lyrical at the start and then having a bit more force and energy as the tune intensified. So yeah, sonically, I really enjoyed this one, and it feels like it could have gone on another couple minutes, and it still would have, carried that feeling and that intensity longer. And lyrically, again, I caught bits like, okay, so at the start, who is it? Like, someone put something in his hand, and, he's saying, like, it's gonna be a long walk to his hometown. He can see his hometown, on the horizon. And then he's characterizing it or talking about, like the barber shop on this street and, over the courthouse, and there's certain like dimensions or places of it. And then he's referring to like, his father once told him that this is a great place to be born. And seemingly there was a line, something like, we are or you are what we're doing or you are what you're doing, something to that effect, which would suggest, maybe that you get out of something what you put into it, and there's a place, you can start over again if you need to. I think there was a line about that specifically. So yeah, and like the line that, the refrain, like, don't wait up, the idea that this is going to be a journey, this is going to take some time, this is going to require effort and distance traveled, so don't wait up because I might not be back at a convenient time, but that he's getting in touch with that place again, and again, maybe place literally, but also conceptually, and it's perhaps a way to start anew and to, create something different from what you've been doing, or something better, or again, tapping into that great place and what it can be, again, if you put in the effort and the struggle. So again, maybe I'm missing some details there, maybe I'm misinterpreting a line or two. I do apologize if that's the case. Bear with me and feel free to indicate in the comments. And again, I'm guessing that Michaela will post the lyrics, so of course thank you to Michaela for providing this material. Thank you again to Kim for the idea for this playlist, which again, it's nice the way this dovetailed together so that I can do the cyclical Bruce reaction on the timeline that I've been doing right as I've started to go through this We Save Us playlist. So yeah, a really cool tune, a rockin' tune, definitely a rock and roll ballad type of feel to it. So let me know what you think, and Luca, the sleeping cat, and I will see you next time. Peace.